All right, The Secret Reveal. Bob Proctor, philosopher, author, and personal coach. Secret gives you anything you want in happiness, health, and wealth. Dr. Joe Vitale, a metaphysical marketing specialist and author. John Assafaroff, entrepreneur and moneymaker expert. We can have it whatever we want and what we choose. I don't care how big it is. What kind of house do you want to live in? Do you want to live in and be a millionaire? What kind of business do you want to have? Do you want to have more success? Do you really want? Dr. John DeMartini, philosopher, chiropractor, healer, personal transformation specialist. This is the greatest secret of life. Dennis Waitley, psychologist, trainer in the field of the mind potential. Years have passed who have the secret wanted to keep the power, the not sharing with the power, the kept of the people, ignorant of the secret. People want to work with the way they do, and people went to work, they did their job, and they came home, they went with the treadmill with no power because the secret was kept for you. Throughout the history, there have been many things we coveted the knowledge of the secret. There has been many of who found a way of the spreading the knowledge of the world. Michael Bernard Beckwith, visionary and founder of the GAPE, the International Spiritual Center, says, I've seen many miracles take place in people's lives, financial miracles of physical healing, mental healing, and healing of the relationship. Jack Canfield, author, teacher, life coach, motivational speaker. All that has happened because of the knowing and how to apply the secret. What is life? What is the secret? Bob Proctor, you've probably been sitting around wondering what is the secret. To tell you what I've come to understand, we'll work with the infinite power of God ourselves to be exactly in the same laws, national law of the universe and precise, but we don't even have to have difficult building spaceships. Any difficulty having spaceships. We can send people to the moon, and we can time the landing with a precise fraction of a second. Wherever you are, India, Australia, New Zealand, Stockholm, London, Toronto, Montreal, New York, we are all working with one power, one law, is attraction. The secret is the law of attraction. Everything comes from the attraction. The life that you are attracting into your life. It is attracted by the virtue, by image of holding in your mind. If it is what you think, what is going on with in your mind, you are attracting to. Even though yours is a real thing and a force. Pretend somebody. The greatest teacher who ever lived have told us that the law of attraction most powerful in the universe. Poets with William Shakespeare, Robert Browning, William Blake deliver in their poetry. Musicians such as Ludwig van Beethoven expressed it there in the music. Artists such as Leonardo da Vinci depicted in their paintings. Great thinkers included Socrates, Plato, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Pythagoras, Sir Francis Bacon, Sir Isaac Newton, John Wolfgang von Goethe, Victor Hugo shared in writings and teaching the name have been immortalized in like legendary existing but survived in centuries. Religions such as Hinduism, Hermetic tradition, Buddhism, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, civilizations such as ancient Babylonians and Egyptians delivered it through the writings and stories, recorded it through the age of all this forms. The law can be found in the ancient writings throughout the century. It was recorded in 3000 in stone in 3000 BC, even though they coveted it, knowledge it, and indeed they did. That have also been there and anyone to rediscover. Well, beginning at the beginning of the time, it was always been, and will always be. The law determines the complete order of the universe, even every moment of your life, every single thing that you experience in your life. It doesn't matter who you are, what you are, and the law of attraction, formally entire life experience that is all powerful and is doing through your thoughts. One of we call the law of attraction into the action. You don't thoroughly. You do it through your thoughts. 1912, Charles Haanel described the law of attraction as the greatest and the most infallible law upon the entire system of creation depends on. Bob Proctor, wise people, has always known this, and you can go right back to the ancient Babylonians. They have always known that it is a small select group people. The ancient Babylonians of the great prosperity have been well documented by scholars. They also know by the creating of one of the seven wonders of the world, hanging guardians of Babylon. Through the understanding of the application of the laws of the universe, they became one of the wealthiest races in history. Bob Proctor, why do you think the I% population earns 96% of all the money that has been earned? Do you think that's an accident? I designed that. It's designed that way. They understand something. They understand the secret to know that you are being introduced into the secret. People who draw with wealth into their life, the secret were conscientious or unconscious to think the thoughts of abundance through the wealth. They do not allow contradictory thoughts to take root in the minds of the predominant thoughts of the wealth and only know the wealth and nothing else exists in the mind minds there, whatever the way, and if and not, or whether aware of it or not, or the prominent the prominent throughout the wealth, and whether they brought the wealth to them. It is the law of attraction in action. Perfect example to demonstrate the secret of the law of attraction is that you may know the people who are a massive wealth. Loss of it within a short time occurred massive wealth again. What happened in this case, whatever they knew, the domain thoughts were around the wealth. That is, that they have acquired it in the first instance. They may allow the fearing of the thoughts of losing wealth to enter in their mind. Losing wealth to enter in their minds until those fearful thoughts we lost became the dominant thoughts. They tripped and scaled from thinking thoughts of the wealth of thinking. Throughout the loss of this, so they lost it all. Once they have had, however, the fear of loss had disappeared, they tipped and scales back the dominant thoughts of wealth, and wealth return. The laws responded to your thoughts, no matter what they be. All right, like attracts like. John Asfar. Simplest way to me to look away at the law of attraction is that I think of myself as the magnet. I know that the magnet without attraction, you are most powerful magnet of the universe. You can obtain the magnetic power. You are more powerful than anything in this world. The unfathomable magic power is emitted through your thoughts. Bob Doyle. Bob Doyle, author of Law of Attraction Specialist, basically pulled the law of attraction, saying the law likes attracts them, but we're really taking level of thought. The law of attraction says like attracts like. So think of the thought that you are attracting like thoughts to you. That a more example that you have experienced the law of attraction in your life. However, you started to think about something that you were not happy about. The more thinking about it is worse it seemed. Because you think about the one sustained thought of the law of attraction, immediately bring it out more like thoughts to you. In a matter of minutes, you have gotten so many likes on happy thoughts, and coming into your situation since it seems getting worse that you may think about it and more upset you get. You may have experienced attraction-like thoughts when you listened to them in a song, then found that you couldn't get the song out of your head. The song kept playing over and over, even in your mind. Well, listen to the song, even though that they may not have realized it. They gave full attention, the focus for the thought to it, as did you were a powerful attraction man, like thoughts of the song. So the law of attraction moved it into action, delivered more thoughts of the song over and over again. John Asseroff. Our job as humans is to hold on to the thoughts that we want and make absolutely clear within our minds that what we want for what we start to invoke on one of the greatest laws of the universe, the laws of attraction, become the thinking about most of, but you also must attract what you think about most. You live your life right now is a reflection of the past thoughts that includes the great things and all things that consider not so great. The attraction with what you think about the most is easy. See the dominant thoughts that have been ever subject of your life because it has been experienced until now. Now you're learning the secret. What is knowledge, and you can change everything. Bob Proctor. If you set your mind to it, you're going to hold it in your hand. If you think about what you want in your mind and make that your dominant thought, you will bring it into your life. Mike Dooley, author and international speaker, and the principle is being summoned up in three simple words that thoughts become things. Thoughts become things. Throughout the most powerful law, the thoughts become things within your life. The thoughts become things that say over to yourself, and let them keep in the consciousness of your awareness, and then your thoughts becoming things. John Asseroff. Most people do not understand that the thought has a frequency. You can measure a thought, and if so, we were thinking that the thought over and over and over again. If you're imagining mind having the brand new car, having the money that you need, and building the company and finding your soulmate, if you're imagining what looks, you are emitting the frequency on a consistent basis. Dr. Joel Vital, the thoughts of sending of the magnetic signal that is drawn into the parallel back to you, the predominant thought of the mental attitude is the magnet, the law of the like and attract, consequently the mental attitude is invariable attract such conditions and correspondent to in nature. Charles Kinnell. Thoughts of the magnetic thoughts and frequency. As you think of the thoughts of the set of the universe, they magnetically attract all of the things of the same frequency. Everything sends out in the return source. The source is you. Think of it this way. We understand with the television station transmission, but the tower of the broadcast, viva the frequency, we transformed it into the pictures onto your television. Most of us do not really understand how it works. We know that each channel has a frequency, and when we tune into the frequency, see the pictures on the television, we choose the frequency, selecting the channel, and we have the receive of the pictures pictures of the broadcast on the channel. If you want to see the different pictures on the television, we change the channel, run into a new frequency. Your human transmission tower that you are most powerful than any television tower created on Earth. Your most powerful transmission tower of the universe. The transmission created with life, creates the world. The frequency you transmit reaches beyond the cities, beyond countries, beyond the world, and it reverberates through the entire universe and transmits into the frequency of your thoughts. The picture you receive in the transmission of your thoughts are not all television screens in the living room. They are a picture of your life. The thoughts of the frequency. They attract like things of the frequency, and they are broadcasted back to you as your life pictures. If you want to change anything in your life, change the channel and change the frequency of changing your thoughts. The vibration of mental forces are the finest and consequently the most powerful in existence. Charles E. Canal. Bob Proctor, save yourself and living in the abundance that we will be able to attract it, and it works every time with every person. As you think of yourself and living in abundance, the powerfully and consequently determined in life that the law of attraction is that easy. But the most obvious question becomes, what isn't everybody living in the life of the dreams? They attract the good instead of the bad. John Asvar. Here's the problem: the most people are thinking about what they don't want, and they're wondering if they show up over and over again. The only reason why people do not have what they want is because they think about what they do not want to them, or what they do want. What they don't want then, and what they do want. Listening to your thoughts and listening to the words you're saying. The law is absolute that there is no mistake. An epidemic worse than the plague in the humankind is ever since that has been raging centuries, and don't want an epidemic. People keep this epidemic alive with the predominant thinking, speaking, acting, focusing on what they don't want, because of the generation change of the history, because of the receiving the knowledge that can free us of the epidemic. It begins with you, and you can become a pioneer of the new thought movement by simply tracking and speaking about what you want. Bob Dole, the law of attraction doesn't care whether you perceive it as something good or bad, but whether you do want it or whether you don't want it or whether you do want it. You're responding with your thoughts, and so you're looking at a mountain of death, fear terrible about it, and then single that you are putting onto the universe. I feel really bad because all of the success I got, and just because affirming it to yourself, you feel on every level of your being that that's what you're going to get more of. Law of attraction with law of the nature of impersonal and does not seem to be good things, bad things, or receiving the thoughts of the reflecting back of the thoughts of the life experience. The law of attraction simply gives you whatever they're thinking about. Lisa Nichols, author and personal empowerment advocate. The laws of attraction really obedient when you think of the things that you do not want and you focus them on all your intentions. The law of attraction will give you exactly what you want every time. The focus on these things you do not want. I do not want to be late. I do not want to be late. I don't want to be late. The law of attraction doesn't hear that. You do not want it to manifest the things you're thinking about, and it's so going on show up over and over and over again. Law of attraction not based on what it wants and do not wants. When you focus on something, no matter what it happens to be, you really are calling it into existence. When you focus, yeah. Alright, when you focus on your thoughts on something you want, they hold the focus then you are in the moment of summoning. What you want in the mightiest power of the universal law of attraction does not compete with deny or not or no any other words of negation. And speak the words of negation. This is what the law of the attraction receiving. I do not want to spill something on this outfit. I want to spill something on the outfit. I want to spill more things. I don't want to be bad haircut. I want bad haircuts. I don't want to be delayed. I want delays. I don't want one person to be rude. I want the more people to be rude to me. I do not want a restaurant to give our table. I want a restaurant to give away our tables. I don't want these shoes to hurt. I want these shoes to hurt. I can handle all the work. I can want more work than I can handle. I don't want to catch the flu. I want the flu, and I want to catch more things. I don't want to be argued. I want more arguing. I don't speak to me like that. I want people to speak to me like that, and I want other people to speak to me like that. Law of attraction, give them what you think about with the period. Bob Proctor, law of attraction, is always working whether you believe in it and understanding of it or not. Law of attraction, law of creation, quantum physics, it tells you the entire universe emerged through thought, the creative with your life, and your thoughts, the law of attraction, every single person does the same. And it doesn't just work if you know about it, and it also been working in your life. Every other person had a life throughout your history. When you be aware of the great law, you become aware of the incredible power you are able to think of your life existence. Like this, Nicholas, if you're working with as much as you think of it in time with your thoughts flowing with the law of attraction and working, you're thinking about the past law of attraction, working, the thinking about the present, for the future. Law of attraction is working, ongoing the process. You do not press pause, you do not press stop. It is the forever attraction as the thoughts are. Whatever you realize is not thinking about the most time that you're speaking, listening to something, when you are thinking that you are reading the newspaper, watching television, you're thinking you are recalling memories from your past, you are thinking of what you're considering something in your future, you are thinking you're driving and you're thinking, when you're driving, you're thinking when you are getting in the writing in the morning, you're thinking when you are many of the reason for the only time of thinking is as well with the sleep, and however the forces of attraction still operating with the laws of the last thoughts as the way we fall asleep. Make your last thoughts before you're going to making your last thoughts before you're going to sleep good thoughts. Michael Bernard Beckwith, creation of what is happening every time the individual has a thought, a prolonged chronic with a waking way of thinking. There is a creation process. Something is going on and manifests over the thoughts. When you think of not creating with your life, the creating your life with your thoughts, be sure that you're always thinking, that you're always creating with what think about the most, focusing most is what will appear as your life. Like all the laws of nature, the utter perfection of the law of the created of your life, whatever you do or reap, whatever the thoughts receive, the harvest you reap, depending on the seeds you plant. If you complain with the law of the dragon, probably bring into your life with a man or situation for the complaint about. If you're listening to someone else complain, focusing on the sympathy with them, arguing with them, in that moment you are attracting more situations to yourself to complain about. The law is simply reflecting, giving back with exactly what you're focusing on in your thoughts. You're with a powerful knowledge, and you completely change every circumstance I've met in your entire life and change your way of thinking. Bill Harris, teacher and founder of the Center Point Research Institute. I had a student named Robert who was taking an online course I've been part of with the entails emails access to me. Robert was gay. He outlined the grim reality of his life with the emails to me, and his job of the workers ganged up on him, and he was consistently stressful because of how nasty they were with him. When they walked down the street, he was accosted by homophobic people who wanted to abuse him in the same way that he wanted to become a stand-up comedian. And when he did a stand-up comedy job, everybody heckled him about being gay. His whole life was unhappiness and misery, all focused around being attached because he was gay. I began teaching him that it was focusing what did not want, and I directed him back to the email that I sent to me, and I said, read it again and look at all those things you do not want and that you were telling me about. I tell you, the very passionate about about this, and when you focus on something, a lot of the passion it makes you happen even faster. They had started taking this about focusing on what you want for the heart, being really trying for it. When it happened in the next 8 weeks, the absolute miracle. The people, the officers that have been harassing me, they either transferred another department, quit working out at the company, started completely leaving him alone. He began to love the job. He walked down the street, nobody harassed him anymore. They weren't there. He did this standing up the comedy routines, and he started getting standing ovations. Nobody else heckled him. His life was changed because of the change of the focusing on what he did not want and was afraid of, and what he wanted to avoid focusing on what he did want. Robert's life changed because of the change of thoughts emitted with the different frequencies into the universe. The universe must deliver the picture of the new frequency, and no matter how impossible the situation might seem, Robert's new thoughts about his new frequency, the picture of the entire life changed. Your life within in your hands, no matter what you know, no matter what happens within your life. To begin with a conscientious thoughts, choose choice of thoughts. You're changing your life. There's no such thing as hopeless situation. Every single circumstance in your life has changed. The power of your mind. Michael Bernard Beckwith. You track with the predominant thoughts that you're holding in awareness whenever the thoughts are conscientious, unconscious. That's for the rub. Whenever you've been aware of the thoughts of the past or not, know that you're becoming aware of the right now with the knowledge of the secret. You're waking up with the deep sleep, becoming aware of the knowledge, aware of the law, aware of the power that your thoughts are. Your thoughts. Dr. John Martini, you're looking very careful at what comes in. The secret of the power of the mind, with the power of the intention, the daily life is also around us. What we also do is open your eyes and looking. Listen, Nichols, you can see the law of attraction everywhere. The draw everything to yourself, the people, the job, the circumstance, the health, wealth, debt, the joy, the care of the car that you drive, the community that you're in, the drawn with all to you with the life magnet. When you think about bringing it about, you are whole in the life manifesting the thoughts with the going in and on ahead. The universal inclusion but not exclusion. Nothing excludes you from the law of attraction. The law of like a mere dominant thoughts. But you think the living things of the planet and operate through the law of attraction. The difference for the human is that they have the mind that can discern. They can use the free will choice of their thoughts, the power of the intentionally think of the creating the entire life with in mind. Dr. Fred Alan Wolf, quantum physics lecturer and award-winning author. I'm not talking to you with a point of view with wishful thinking with imaginary craziness. I'm talking to you from a deeper basic understanding. Quantum physics really begins with the point of discovery. It says that you can't have the universe without the mind entering into it. The mind is actually shaping everything that is being perceived. If you think of a long analogy of the being of the most powerful transformation of the powerful transmission of the tower, we'll see the perfect correlation with the Dr. Wolf's words. Your mind thinks of the thoughts and pictures of the broadcast as your life experience, but they may create your life with the thoughts of and through the thoughts of powerfully to the creation of the world. If you thought that you were insignificant, have no power in the world, you think again. Your mind is actually shaping the world around you. The amazing work with the discovery of the quantum physics over the last 8 years that brought us with the greater understanding that unfathomable power of the human mind was great. That the word parallel with the world's greatest mind, including Carnegie, Emerson, Shakespeare, Bacon, and Chris Nurmata, Buddha. Alright, Bob Proctor, if you don't understand the law of it doesn't mean you should reject it. They must understand the electricity you may not understand electricity, you enjoy the benefits of it. I do not know how it works, but I knew this. You can cook a man dinner with electricity, and it can also cook the man. Michael Bernard Beckwith. Oftentimes, people begin with the understanding of the grace here, with becomes frightened with all the negative thoughts that they have. They need to be aware that they have been scientifically proven the alternative thoughts for the hundreds of times more powerful than negative thoughts, eliminating the degree of the worry right there. It really doesn't have the negative thoughts, positive and persistent negative things that bring these negatives into your life. However, if you persist in the negative thoughts over the period of time that will appear in your life, worry about the negative thoughts, you will attract more worrying about the negative thoughts, multiplying them, and at the same time deciding right to know that you are going to think about the good things at the same time, clearly over the universe. All the good thoughts are powerful, that their negative thoughts are weak. Lisa Nicholas. Thank God that there's a time delay, that all your thoughts don't come true instantly. You're trouble if they do. If they did, we'd all be in trouble. We'd be in trouble if they did. The elements of the time delay serve you. It all allows you to reason, reassess, and think about what you want, and to make the new choice. All the power created with the life that's available to right now, because of the right now. If you already think of the right, have the same thoughts, they'll be beneficial to manifest the right now. If you change your thinking, you can erase the previous thoughts with replacing them with the good thoughts that time serves you becomes because you can think of the thoughts and emit the frequency now. Dr. Joe Vitale, you may want to become aware of your thoughts and choose your thoughts carefully with you, and you want to have fun with this, because you have the masterpiece of your own life. You are Michelangelo of your life. The David you are sculpting is used one with the mastermind, but to learn quite mind with that one exemption. Every teacher for the book, the meditation daily practice would wants to you until discover the secret. Every life of the power of meditation can be meditation quest, and the mind helps you control the thoughts. Revitalize the body with the greater news that you don't have to settle aside with the hours of the meditative just because of the 10 minutes of the days that began with the incredible power of the full, then gain control over your thoughts. To become aware of the thoughts that you can also you also set the attention, all master of my thoughts. And so if often I meditate with it as you hold the intention, the law of attraction must become that. You're not receiving knowledge that will enable to create the magnificent version of you. The possibility of the version of you already exists. Frequency of the most magnificent versions that's dedicated with what you want to be and what you want to do and have and think about. The thoughts of the emitting frequency, your vision will become your life. Secret summaries. Secret summaries. The great secret of life is the law of attraction. Law of attraction says like attracts like. So when you think of the thought that you're attracting like with the thoughts to you, the thoughts of the magnetic thoughts with the frequency. If you think of the thoughts set of the universe, magnetically attract all the things with the same frequency. Everything sent out returns to this source. You are human in your transmission frequency of your thoughts, and if you want to change anything in your life, it's change frequency of your thoughts, your recurrent thoughts of creating your future life that you're thinking about, the more focus that you will appear as your life. Your thoughts become things. The secret made simple.